"You're my world," he had whispered that night, his voice a tender promise that filled every corner of my heart with hope. I clung to those words like a lifeline, convinced our future was painted in bright hues of love and endless devotion. But as I tidied up our shared study one quiet afternoon, a folded piece of paper slipped from between old books, a faded, hand-drawn map with intricate routes and mysterious symbols. My pulse quickened. This wasn't a playful doodle, it was a hidden blueprint of escape routes that I later discovered were used for secret meetings and clandestine getaways. In that gut-wrenching moment, everything I believed in, every vow, every whispered "I love you," shattered into painful fragments of betrayal. I still remember how enchanted I was by him during our early days together. We met unexpectedly at a friend's dinner party on a cool spring evening. His laugh was infectious, his eyes sparkled with a warmth that made me feel safe, and soon we were inseparable. We spent long, blissful hours dreaming about our future. A cozy home, spontaneous adventures, quiet nights under starry skies. Every moment was a promise, and every "you're my world" he uttered became a sacred vow. I built my hopes around those words, convinced that our love was destined to overcome every obstacle. I trusted him completely, never suspecting that behind his tender declarations lay secrets carefully hidden from my sight. Our life together unfolded like a beautiful symphony, each day more promising than the last. We planned elaborate vacations, decorated our little apartment with cherished mementos, and nurtured our shared dreams with every heartfelt conversation. I adored the way he looked at me, the way he assured me that I was everything to him. In those moments, I believed our future was secure, an unbreakable bond built on trust, passion, and mutual respect. But gradually, subtle discrepancies began to surface. There were times when he'd leave the house unexpectedly, or when his phone screen would dim as if guarding private messages. I brushed these off as quirks of a busy life, little signs that meant nothing. I wanted to believe that his love was as pure as he claimed, that nothing could ever tarnish the promises we made. Then one afternoon, while rummaging through the study to organize some old documents, my fingers grazed something unusual tucked away behind a dusty stack of books. It was a folded, yellowed piece of paper that I'd never seen before. Curious, I unfolded it slowly. My eyes widened as I took in the sight of a meticulously drawn map, its lines and symbols tracing out routes and exits that I later discovered corresponded to various locations across the city, places he never mentioned, places that were not part of our shared plans. At the top, in careful script, were the words "escape routes." My stomach churned as a cold realization began to dawn on me. This map wasn't a whimsical drawing, it was a blueprint of secret passages he had used to slip away into a hidden world. 4 days afterward, I was trapped in a whirlwind of disbelief and despair. I replayed every tender moment we had shared, each "I love you" echoing in my mind, now turned bitter by the revelation of his duplicity. I began to notice all the moments I had dismissed, the slight hesitation before answering his phone, the furtive glances toward a locked drawer, the unexplained absences that I had attributed to work. Each one now formed a puzzle piece that depicted a man leading a double life. The map, with its cryptic routes and hidden symbols, confirmed everything I feared. The fiancé I believed to be my entire world had been slipping away into secret escapes, meeting someone else, building a clandestine life that I was never part of. In the days that followed, I found myself both paralyzed by heartbreak and fueled by a burning need for truth. I meticulously scanned the map, trying to decipher the symbols and match them with places I knew in the city. I cross-referenced dates and times with the nights he claimed to have been working late. Each correlation was like a dagger in my heart, a painful confirmation that the man I loved was betraying me not in a fleeting moment, but over a long, carefully orchestrated series of escapes. I began to document everything. Late at night, when the world outside was hushed and only the sound of my own breathing filled the silence, I took photographs of the map and saved screenshots of messages I found on his phone that hinted at secret rendezvous. I created a digital folder titled "Truth" on my laptop, where every piece of evidence was stored like a silent testament to his betrayal. I combed through emails, text messages, and even call logs, piecing together a timeline that left no room for doubt. The more I discovered, the more the weight of his deception pressed down on me, each revelation a stark contrast to the loving promises he once made. I spent days in a haze of grief and anger, questioning every memory we had built together. I recalled the nights when his eyes, usually so full of warmth, seemed to wander just a little too far, the mornings when his smile was shadowed by a flicker of something I couldn't quite place. Had I been too trusting, too eager to believe in his every word? The truth was a bitter pill to swallow. Our future, once so vibrantly painted with shared dreams, now looked like a carefully curated facade hiding a hidden escape route that led to a secret life. Unable to contain the torrent of emotions, I finally confided in my closest friend. We met in a quiet cafe on a rainy afternoon, the kind of day when the gray skies mirror the heaviness in your heart. With tears streaming down my face, I recounted every detail: the map, the hidden messages, the inexplicable absences. I trusted him with my whole heart, I whispered, and now I feel like I never really knew him at all. My friend listened in silence, her eyes brimming with empathy and sorrow. You deserve the truth, she said gently. You deserve a love that's honest, not one built on secrets. Her words, filled with quiet conviction, became a lifeline, a reminder that I was not alone in this storm, that my pain was real, and that I had the strength to reclaim my life. Buoyed by her support, I resolved to confront him. I knew that avoiding the truth would only allow the betrayal to fester. I spent days preparing, rehearsing what I would say, determined to be calm and clear despite the raging storm inside me. I trusted every word you said, I practiced in front of the mirror, and I believed that our future was built on love and honesty. But now I see that you've been hiding a secret life from me, one mapped out in red ink and silent escapes. Every rehearsal was a step toward reclaiming my dignity, a promise to myself that I would not let his deception define who I was or what I deserved. The day of the confrontation arrived on a cool, overcast morning. Our home, once a vibrant sanctuary of shared dreams, felt heavy with unspoken tension. I sat in the living room, the folder of evidence clutched tightly in my hands, my heart pounding with dread and determination. When he returned from one of his so-called late nights, his face was calm as if nothing were amiss, a practiced mask that now only deepened the betrayal I felt. I met him in the living room, where the soft light filtered through the windows, casting long shadows on the floor. We need to talk, I said quietly, my voice steady despite the storm raging within. For a long, agonizing moment, he stared at me, his eyes betraying a flicker of uncertainty before he attempted to offer a smile. I opened the folder and began to lay out the evidence: the photographs of the map, the dates and routes he had meticulously drawn, the silent symbols that marked his secret escape routes. You told me you were my world, I said, my voice trembling with raw emotion, but this map reveals that you've been building a secret life, planning escapes that leave no room for us. How could you lie to me like this? His face turned pale as he struggled to form an explanation. He mumbled vague excuses about stress at work, about the need for personal time, but his words fell flat against the undeniable truth I had laid before him. The confrontation was a collision of raw emotion and painful truth, a moment when every "I love you" and every promise of forever turned to ash in the light of betrayal. I felt as though the life we had built was crumbling around me, every dream we had shared now stained by deception. The silence that followed was deafening, filled with the weight of broken trust and shattered promises. I could see the regret in his eyes, the quiet admission of guilt that he tried so desperately to hide, and in that moment, I knew that everything had changed. The future I had so lovingly envisioned, a future built on trust, passion, and shared dreams, was nothing more than a fragile illusion, shattered by the revelation of his secret escape routes. In the days that followed, I found myself drifting through a haze of sorrow and anger. I wandered through our home, each room a painful reminder of the life I thought we shared. I spent countless hours alone rereading the evidence, my mind tormented by memories of his tender vows now twisted into cruel lies. I questioned every moment, the times he had promised, "I'm always here for you," the soft, loving whispers that once made me feel invincible, and each memory was now a dagger in my heart. Yet, even as the weight of betrayal threatened to crush me, I began to see a glimmer of resolve emerging from within. I realized that while the pain was immense, it was also a catalyst for change, a painful invitation to rediscover who I truly was and what I deserved. I decided that I could no longer allow his deception to define my future. I deserved a life built on honesty, where every promise was real and every dream was shared with transparency. With that determination burning inside me, I reached out to a therapist, someone whose gentle guidance helped me untangle the labyrinth of emotions that now consumed me. In the quiet sanctuary of therapy sessions, I learned to confront the raw truth of my heartbreak. I poured my soul into my journal, every word a cathartic release of the pain and betrayal that had shattered my world. Slowly, I began to understand that while the scars of deception might never fully fade, they could serve as powerful reminders of my inner strength. I discovered that my worth was not defined by the lies of a man who had built secret escape routes, but by my ability to rise from the ashes and forge a future that was entirely my own. Publicly, the unraveling of our once happy union became a quiet undercurrent among our circle of friends and family. Whispers of sympathy and gentle words of encouragement followed me wherever I went, and I began to share fragments of my journey on a personal blog. I wrote candidly about the heartbreak, the confrontation, and the slow, painful process of rebuilding my life. The responses were overwhelming. Messages of support from strangers, heartfelt notes from old friends, and shared stories of resilience that reaffirmed my belief that I was not alone. Every word of encouragement became a stepping stone, a beacon of hope guiding me through the darkness. As the months turned into a year, I gradually began to rediscover who I was before the betrayal, a woman with dreams, passions, and an unyielding capacity for love. I ventured back into the world of relationships with caution, each new encounter approached with a blend of guarded optimism and the hard-won lessons of my past. Every sincere smile, every kind gesture, slowly helped to mend the shattered pieces of my heart, weaving together a new tapestry of hope and resilience. I learned that true love must be built on transparency, that every promise is sacred when it is backed by honesty, and that I was worthy of a partner who would cherish my trust as much as I cherished his. Now, as I sit in the soft, gentle light of my modest apartment, a space I have lovingly transformed into my sanctuary of healing, I reflect on the long, winding journey that brought me here. The memory of that hidden map, with its intricate escape routes and secret symbols, remains etched in my heart as a painful reminder of how fragile trust can be. Yet it is also a testament to the strength I discovered within myself, a strength that allowed me to confront the truth, reclaim my dignity, and rebuild my future on my own terms. Every sunrise now is a promise of new beginnings, a chance to rewrite my story and shape a future where my destiny is mine to create. I now move forward with an unshakable conviction that I deserve a life built on honesty, respect, and mutual trust. A future where my worth is celebrated and my dreams are nurtured in the light of truth. I have learned that betrayal, as devastating as it can also be a catalyst for transformation, a painful, powerful invitation to rediscover who we truly are beneath the layers of shattered promises. With each new day, I step boldly into a future defined not by the lies of the past, but by the resilient, unyielding promise of self-respect and genuine love. This is my story, a journey of shattered illusions, heartbreaking betrayal, and ultimately the triumphant reclamation of my life. I trusted him when he declared, "You're my world," believing every word was a vow meant to secure our shared future. But when I found that hidden map, meticulously marking his secret escape routes, I was forced to confront a truth that shattered everything I had ever believed in. In that devastating moment, I found the strength to gather every piece of evidence, to face the painful reality, and to reclaim my life from the ruins of deception. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of raw, unfiltered pain has led me to this place. A place where I now stand as a survivor, determined to build a future defined by truth, self-respect, and the unyielding promise that I am worthy of a love that is real. Every sunrise is a fresh canvas, a new opportunity to rewrite my story, to shape a future where my destiny is mine to create, and to embrace life with an unshakable spirit. I am more than the sum of broken promises. I am a woman reborn from the ashes of betrayal, with a heart that beats with hope and a soul unbound by deceit. I now step into each new day with the confidence that my future is bright, a future built on honesty, resilience, and the power of love that is truly mine.